From fixer to headline, reclaiming your story, I want to begin today by acknowledging the extraordinary mind behind the insights I'm about to share. Recently, I had the profound privilege of sitting down with Petula Burks, a visionary whose work is quietly revolutionizing how we think about personal agency and professional reinvention. She's not just changing individual lives, she's reshaping entire conversations about resilience, particularly for those who've spent years being the invisible infrastructure of their communities. Petula doesn't just talk about transformation, she embodies it, creating ripples of change that extend far beyond her immediate circle, empowering people to reclaim their narratives with a boldness that's nothing short of revolutionary. Have you ever noticed how some people seem perpetually cast as supporting characters in their own life story? They're the ones holding everything together behind the scenes, solving everyone's problems, making the impossible happen on deadline, yet somehow never becoming the headline themselves. I used to believe this was simply how the universe arranged itself. Some people lead, others support. Some shine in the spotlight, others illuminate from the wings. But what if that's not actually how the story has to unfold? What if you, yes, you sitting there right now, have been writing yourself into the margins of your own narrative for far too long? During my conversation with Petula, she shared something that stopped me mid sentence. The moment you decide to move from being the fixer in everyone else's narrative to becoming the headline of your own life is the moment everything changes. Let that sink in for a moment. The truth is, many of us, especially women of color, have been conditioned to be the fixers, the ones who keep everything running smoothly behind the scenes, the ones who solve problems without making waves, the ones who put everyone else's oxygen mask on first. We've been taught that this is what strength looks like, that this is what responsibility demands, that this is what love requires. But what if we've been reading from the wrong script all along? What if true strength isn't about carrying everyone else's burdens, but about having the courage to prioritize your own journey? What if real responsibility includes being responsible to yourself first? What if authentic love begins with loving yourself enough to step into the spotlight of your own life? This isn't about selfishness. It's about self reclamation. Consider Nina Blackshear's journey. Nina transitioned across multiple fields: law, real estate, fundraising, employee relations before finally becoming an executive coach empowering women of color. Each career move initially felt like a detour, a wrong turn from some imagined correct path. But here's where it gets interesting. Nina faced imposter syndrome and perfectionism as she navigated spaces not designed for her. Sound familiar? How many of us have felt like we don't quite belong? Like we need to be twice as good just to be considered half as worthy. Instead of letting these challenges define her, Nina focused on developing her emotional intelligence, building strategic networks, and coaching others through similar transitions. What once looked like career chaos eventually revealed itself as her unique value proposition. Today, Nina has built a thriving coaching practice centered on authenticity. She's become a recognized thought leader on career reinvention. Most importantly, she's inspired Black professionals nationwide to see their pivots not as liabilities, but as strengths. Nina's story illustrates a profound truth that Petula emphasized. Professional and personal reinvention isn't just possible, it's necessary for growth. True pivots require three things: self awareness, emotional intelligence, and a willingness to step into discomfort. That last part is crucial. Growth rarely happens in comfortable places. Transformation occurs when we're willing to be vulnerable, to try something new, to risk failure in pursuit of authenticity. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. That sounds great for Nina, but my situation is different. I have responsibilities. People depend on me. I can't just walk away from being the fixer. I hear you, and so would Petula. This isn't about abandoning your responsibilities overnight. It's about gradually reclaiming your agency, setting boundaries, and making intentional choices that put your needs and vision at the center. It's about recognizing that your journey, especially through adversity, is proof of resilience, not a mark of failure. Consider what happened at the HBCU Entrepreneurship Empowerment Summit at Howard University. This gathering of Black entrepreneurs faced systemic barriers head on: undercapitalization, lack of access to networks and resources, challenges that have historically kept entrepreneurs of color in survival mode rather than thriving mode. But instead of just commiserating about these challenges, they transformed them. The summit provided practical workshops blending passion with technological agility and fostered community centered support systems. Attendees left with blueprints, not just inspiration, for building businesses aligned with their values and visions. What made this summit different was its focus on shifting narratives around what success looks like. It encouraged Black professionals to move beyond survival mode into positions where they drive headlines rather than just responding to them. This collective pivot from isolation and fixing systemic problems alone toward collaborative leadership demonstrates exactly what Petula was talking about when she emphasized the power of redefining your story. Every setback can be transformed into strategy. Every heartbreak can become fuel for purpose driven work. But this transformation doesn't happen by accident, it happens by intention. Take the Black Founder Weekend in Dallas, an event designed to create $100 plus in direct economic impact through deals made during the conference. What made this gathering revolutionary wasn't just its ambitious financial goals, but its approach to achieving them. The organizers recognized that existing conferences rarely translated energy into measurable results or shifted power dynamics meaningfully. So they created something different: curated investor matchups, workshops targeting revenue generation rather than just inspiration, and exclusive sessions amplifying voice often overlooked. The result: tangible financial outcomes tracked during the event. New service partnerships and new hires created live on site. Standards set for accountability and outcome tracking within entrepreneurial events targeting marginalized groups. This event reinforced a powerful idea. When you stop fixing broken systems alone and instead take center stage, you create legacy level change benefiting entire ecosystems. That's what happens when you become the headline of your own story. Your impact expands, your influence grows, your vision manifests. But let's be honest, this shift isn't easy, especially if you've spent years, maybe decades, being the fixer, the supporter, the one who makes things happen from behind the scenes. Moving from that role into the spotlight requires courage. It requires vulnerability. It requires a willingness to be seen, really seen, perhaps for the first time. It means saying no sometimes when you've always said yes. It means asking for what you deserve when you've always settled for less. It means putting your name on your work when you've always let others take the credit. It means stepping into discomfort knowing that on the other side of that discomfort is growth. As Petula so eloquently shared, your journey, especially through adversity, is proof of resilience, not a mark of failure. Think about that. Those detours that felt like setbacks, they were building your resilience. Those challenges that seemed insurmountable, they were developing your strength. Those moments when you felt most lost, they were guiding you toward your authentic path. So here's my challenge to you today: look at your life through a different lens. See those moments when you've been the fixer, not as proof of your supporting role status, but as evidence of your extraordinary capacity to lead, your ability to solve problems. That's leadership. Your talent for making things work. That's innovation. Your skill at bringing people together. That's influence. You already have everything you need to step from the wings onto center stage. You've been rehearsing for this moment your entire life. The world doesn't just need more fixers working behind the scenes. The world needs your vision, your voice, your leadership front and center. So choose one area this week where you'll stop merely fixing problems quietly and start stepping forward publicly with your vision. Make yourself the headline. Share your story openly. Claim credit unapologetically where it's due. Because when you become the headline of your own life, you don't just change your story, you change the story for everyone who sees themselves in you. You create a new possibility, you expand what's imaginable. And in a world desperate for new visions and authentic voices, there is no act more revolutionary, more necessary, more healing than reclaiming your rightful place at the center of your own narrative. The spotlight isn't just waiting for you, the spotlight was made for you. It's time to step into it.